All right, welcome everyone to this last session of the coaching weekend. And this session is a little bit different than we had before because all the sessions we showed so far, except one for this morning, is around how to coach, but we demonstrate this how to do it online. And we wanted to also show you a little bit how it is to actually coach offline, in person. And I'm wondering, for those of you who watched a couple of sessions before we're starting with this, um, do you think coaching in person is differently than coaching online? Just write into the chat yes or no. Yes, it's different, says Ilyana. It's a genuine question. Yes and no, says Mark. Interesting. So for all of you who think, yes, it's different, what is different? What do you think is different? The ability to touch the other person, yes. Touch can be important. Yes, the amount of kinesthetic information the coach is receiving is different. Provide physical support, different kind of energy. Yeah. Yeah, you can pick up on the other's energy as well online. Huh? Yeah, you can actually discuss this a little bit. So there's like pros and cons, and there are different ways how to relate to this. Yeah, being on Zoom can be draining for some people. Feeling of being watched in a way that people are not used to, like they're used to in face-to-face communication. Yes, that's an important one. Well, let's see about this. So what I'm going to share is the first session is somewhat longer, and it's like 20 minutes. And I decided for it for one reason. We saw mostly fast and furious coachings, not with Patricia. Patricia is always taking her time, which is really nice. But a lot of us, me included, are using like 10, 15 minutes and then whoop, next one. So a regular coaching session is not always like that. Most of the time, it's actually not. You have like a longer intro, a longer outro. And I want to show you a session which is a little bit longer. So 20 minutes, the coach is Mark. This session was recorded as part of the Embodied Yoga Principles coaching package. So this, if you decide to purchase this package, you will also see that there. And maybe keep the question in mind. What is different? What differences do you see? And what is maybe surprisingly not different? So just a little bit of an inquiry, and we will come back to that after this like watch party, which we are doing. So do let me start this. There we have it. And I will share my screen and hope you enjoy. So before I'm starting, everybody sees that? Everybody is happy with that? Yeah, good. All right, so.
Maria, welcome. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Maria's someone I met a few times before. You told me you had an issue with traffic noise. You messaged me before, so tell me a little bit about that.
So it's been getting worse over the last maybe few months, maybe to a year, and now I can't really go out for a walk just to my local shop without these great big sound protectors.
Got it. Yeah, I've got some of those. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
It just really fries my nervous system. And
Okay.
I was just cycling here with my helmet, so I couldn't wear the big thingies on top. And just cars kind of.
Yeah.
I just.
Okay. Yeah. What are you doing in your body right now as you talk about it? So.
I feel agitated.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
My breath is short.
Short breath. Okay. Are you up or down?
On the in-breath, what do you mean?
As right now, are you more up here or more down here?
Up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any tension areas? Any other tension areas?
Here.
The belly, really normal. Okay.
Yeah.
So as people do sort of personal growth type work, I know you do a lot of different things. It's very normal that people get more sensitive, right, to stimulus. So I've heard about this before. I have a thing where I really hate like music in restaurants and cafes. I'm just like, why are you playing such loud music? And people ask them to turn it down. They get upset. I'm like, I want to eat. I want quiet. And that's very normal as people do mindfulness practices. That sensitivity increases. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to say is you're not crazy. The key
helps,
that does help. That you really know.
Really
As I said,
normalises it.
almost everyone I know who's done a lot of meditation has this at some point. So you think about your sensitivities going up, and what needs to go up in the same equivalent is your self-regulation. Okay, because if they go up, one gets ahead of the other, everything becomes a bit overwhelming. Yeah. Okay, if the equanimity goes up too high, then you get like a bit of a robot, but you don't have that problem. So you're this way, right? So the key thing is just bringing this skill level up. So it's okay to be sensitive. It's okay to, traffic isn't very nice. It's okay to feel that. You're noticing your stress response in your body. Now let's work with just regulating that a little bit. And it won't take it away, but it can take the edge off a little bit.
That would be amazing.
Okay, cool. So feeling your feet on the ground, some basic centering, the knees relaxed, relaxing the mouth, say ah. Peripheral vision, so you can see really wide. Yeah. And let the shoulders go. And I think particularly for you, it's going to be about feeling the feet and like visualizing something going down. So maybe tree roots or water, whatever works for you. Can you picture something? Tree trunk, like trees going right into the ground, like really deep into the ground. Yeah. Okay, so now looking a lot more relaxed, feeling more relaxed than when you...
Much better.
Yeah, because even just thinking about it, you've got that body memory, right? So key thing here is we need to work with a stimulus. Now I was thinking about this one, because often I'm working for like social stimulus and I can do it. However, for traffic noise, rather than impersonating it badly, I've got a YouTube video of traffic noise.
Helpful.
Is it all right if I sort of play it quietly? And I'll play it sort of over here quietly, okay? And we have this principle called calibration, so I just do a little bit. You still relaxed?
Yeah.
Breathing smooth?
Yeah.
Okay, so unlike in life, we can't control the stimulus, so it just overwhelms us, right? Whereas here, you can tell me on or off, you can say louder, quieter. So who's in charge?
Me.
Yeah. Okay, great, good. I know you're a little bit Maria, so I'm like, I knew you'd work that out quick. Okay, so can I play it again?
Go for it.
Yeah. So relaxing the belly, feeling the feet on the ground. Yeah? So noticing the smile, breathing again. Great, then keep centering. So I'm trying to keep you in that sweet spot where you can learn to handle it, right? And this is the kind of thing you can do on your own. So the process I'll just teach you the process, and you can go away and just YouTube search traffic noise and work with it, okay? If I go a bit closer with this, yeah? Tell me if it's too much. More annoying? Okay, you notice that in your body? Hey, relax your belly, feel your feet. A bit closer.
Yeah. Yeah, really annoying.
Okay, keep breathing, keep relaxing. Think of someone who makes you smile. Okay. How was that?
Yeah, it's doable.
Great.
Yeah.
And who's in charge of your body?
Me.
Right, so
Well,
you...
at first it was like I'm powerless, it's overwhelming, but then something else said I am.
Right, and we want to change that perspective because it's only you that can affect your body. A car cannot like reach into your nervous system, right? Okay, so this is stimulus, which is the car noise, but it's actually for you to relax yourself, yeah? Right. Now, by working with this over time, and you can do that every day just for a couple of minutes, okay? Don't get to the point where you're overwhelmed. Always stop when you're in this sweet spot of like, it's a challenge. Yeah. You know, like if you're in the gym, you want a weight that's not too heavy but not too light. Okay, then you can gradually increase the length of time, the volume, the nature of the stimulus. Yeah, and gradually increase it that way. How's that?
Yeah, really good. I didn't know that I was in charge of my body. I felt that I was powerless and things just...
And that's normal when we get overwhelmed, we feel powerless, right? When things get to a certain level, we all get powerless. It's like keeping it a little bit lower in that sweet spot, and then gradually increasing what that level is. Now, yours still might be lower than the average person's because you're more sensitive, right? You've built that skill. Okay, so you still might have to use the headphones or whatever, but we can at least increase that to the bit where you're not like, you're still able to leave the house and that kind of thing. Yeah. So we're just using the centering with a little bit of graduated exposure, they call it. Okay. Cool. One more piece of this is around boundaries, and this also relates to, I think, another thing you messaged me about. If you wouldn't mind sharing, what's the other issue?
So I speak to people all the time on the phone and in person, and sometimes the person is sharing a lot, and I need to just redirect the conversation just in the interest of time.
Okay.
Because I don't have an hour and a half.
Right, and they start disclosing all about their family and their mother and their children and everything, and you need to say,
you know
hey,
what I mean.
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
So I have been putting boundaries into pressing it.
Okay.
So and then it's like they don't hear me, and they just keep.
Okay.
And then I do it again, and then I notice I'm sounding aggressive, and I don't want to get to the place of, okay, I need to and raise my voice. So is there any way to...
Yes, there is. So we can explore boundaries. This will also be good for the traffic noise stuff, by the way, as well, because you can talk about, have a sense of a boundary there, yeah? So this is why I thought these two would nicely go together in one session. Cool. So let's just explore what you're doing in the body with a neutral stimulus, which I'm going to suggest is me walking towards you. And at a certain point, when you feel like I'm getting into your space, say no.
Yeah, okay.
Can you do that?
Yep.
Put your hand up.
With
no.
my hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And English is your first language, Maria, is that right? Second, what's your first language?
Spanish.
Do you want to use Spanish? If it comes more, sometimes it's a bit deeper. Okay, Spanish or English is fine, Maria. Okay, cool. Wow, you've been here a long time, huh? Your accent's like 100% English. I didn't realize that. I knew your surname was Spanish. That's true. Okay, so let's work with walking. And at a certain point, it feels like I'm in your space. Put your hand up and say no. And then we'll look at the pattern, and then we can make it into the verbal for your clients afterwards.
Amazing.
Yeah? Okay, so I'll start way back here, and I'm going to walk really, really slowly. Just going to nudge towards you. Okay, turn to face me if you can. That's part of it, actually. Do you notice you're angling away slightly? That's very English, by the way. It's like, no. So facing the person is part of the, or else it will feel not like a no if you're facing away.
That's so cool.
Okay, so that's first learning.
Very good.
Facing, and even if you're on the phone, it has that feeling of facing, as opposed to like, oh, no. It's like, no. Yeah? Okay, so as I'm walking, very slowly, keep breathing, centering we did before. Okay?
No.
Okay, so what I notice is I want to keep walking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and that's people's natural response to a boundary which now isn't firm. Now, that's sort of not fair, because people should respect whatever boundary you set anyway, right? Okay. But life's not bloody fair, is it? And it's like you can take charge of your side of the street. Yes. So you're also quite open, you were here. Okay, try doing it here, like right in the middle of you. See, feel the difference between that, and now try this?
Good, yeah.
Say no.
No.
Espanol?
No.
And then here?
No.
Feels different, right?
Yeah, really good.
Really different. Okay, let's try again. So again, that's the feeling, even if you're not literally holding your hand up, that it's firmly here, not here. Like when I do it, if I say no, as opposed to no.
Really felt that.
Feels different, right? Yeah. Okay, so go again.
No.
Okay, that's starting to get firmer, yeah? Let's do a really like wimpy one now, okay, just to contrast it.
No.
Well, okay, my body just wants to keep walking, right? Okay, so this is the client who's like, yeah, I know you told me to shut up, but actually my kids, blah, 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 yeah? And now let's do a really aggressive one. So you're not gonna scare me, it's okay, all right? I'm used to Russians. So, yeah, really aggressive.
No!
Okay, still like a 7 out of 10, but this is good. So now find that middle ground. Can you put your hand up? Is it right if I touch your hand?
Yes.
Yeah, so good. So not pushing away and not collapsing. Make sense? So there's a feeling here of holding your ground, right? Like if I was leaning on the wall, it's firm, but I'm not pushing the wall and I'm not collapsing, yeah? Okay, so I want you to get a sense of that in your whole body. You might want to put your feet a little wider, just to get a bit more base there, yeah. Notice the urge to sort of push back, feel that? Or the urge to collapse. Yeah, relaxing the belly, relaxing the mouth, don't collapse that. Okay. So we're just getting in your system a bit of that sense of holding a boundary without having to be aggressive or passive, yeah? So same thing.
No.
Okay, that stopped me. Yeah? All right, so what's the difference between what you just did and what you're doing before?
I embodied that pushback technique, that test. It really helped to do my feet wider because I noticed I was unstable. And it felt very me and gentle. It felt like my energy, but without...
It felt authentic, it felt you. Yeah, it wasn't aggressive, it wasn't... Great, so it felt real for you.
It felt feminine.
Yeah, it did. It had that, strong but feminine. Nice. Yeah, it did to me too. It was like, okay, fair enough.
Respectful.
Yeah, it didn't feel like, because the key thing here is...
for me to be respectful.
Right, so respectful no that says yes to the person and the relationship, but no to the action. Yeah. And sometimes I practice no when I love you. Yeah, or no when I respect you. Yeah. So actually saying that out loud. Do you want to say that out loud? Just to kind of, because that way you can... Because often people have got, like, they don't want to say no because they think it's disrespectful or unpleasant or nasty, so we need to differentiate, yeah?
No, and I hear you.
Okay, nice.
Oh, I just did it.
No, that's fine, that's fine. It's still the same feeling, right? Yeah, no and I hear you, or no and I respect you, or sometimes with people's kids, it's no and I love you. One more of those, just to kind of really, you have to sort of do the reps a little bit with embodiment.
No, and I see you.
Okay, nice. And that felt, that's your language, it's authentic, yeah? Okay, just to contrast that, no and I disrespect you or I hate you or something like that. The fear response, you went, so just to differentiate it so you can get that it's different. Yeah, great.
No, and I don't like you.
Fuck you then. That's what comes up for me, yeah. All right, let's end on a nice one. Like, good. So we're not doing that. All right?
No, and I appreciate you.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I want to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug? It's like she said no, and I can still give her a hug. All right. So, great. Let's do this conversationally. So give me an example of just the same thing, but we're going to make it more real now. Yeah. What's the kind of thing your client will be talking about?
So you're telling me all about your story.
Okay, my story, my sister, and I'm worried about my niece right now, and there's my life and my mum. Maybe I should call my mum. I haven't got it.
Okay, so you stopped talking.
Oh, great. So it's more about the energy of it.
That was different.
Let's try again. Okay, so my mum, say a bit more. I want you to hit what you would actually say in this sort of conversation. Is it on the phone?
It's on the phone.
Okay, turn around.
So tell me about your business.
Okay,
So you're on the phone.
yeah, turn around so we can't see each other. It just makes it more realistic for the phone.
Tell me all about your business.
Oh, okay, so my business, but actually right now I'm thinking about my mum and my sister and like, you know, my wife in the house, and we get like the kitchen's a bit messy.
So tell me about your business and why you do what you do.
Oh, okay, I teach embodiment.
Great. That felt good.
How was that?
That felt like you really understood.
Yeah, I got the message. I was like, okay, that's not what we're here
You
for.
got the message, and it felt like I redirected, but I'm really respecting you, and I really want to hear from you, but not
about the business.
About what we're actually talking about. Yeah.
Great.
So mate, that felt really good.
No, good. I'm glad it felt good. So remember, even though we were turning around, it was the same feeling as when I was coming towards you.
Like I was talking to a client.
Okay, so we did quite a lot. It's a long session for me. So let's look at the different parts. We did the traffic noise. Yes. Okay, and you can also do that no to the traffic noise.
Wow.
So
I love that.
Where's my traffic noise again? Say no.
No.
Get aggressive. Yeah. Imagine it's a human being.
No.
Great. Now imagine there's a shield, like a force field around you, and the traffic noise is just bouncing off. Does that make sense? So it's that feeling of respectful no.
Can you play it again?
Yeah. You know, just imagining it, it's fine.
Yeah, that actually.
And you're on your bike or you're walking, what are you doing normally when you traffic noise? On your bike or walking?
Both.
Okay, let's try walking. So walking up and down, but keeping that relaxation, the centering we practiced before. keeping the no, the bubble, the feeling of no that you practiced. How's that?
Really different.
Really different. You look much more relaxed.
I imagined a torus field.
Okay, great. Cool. So you've got your centering. You can practice that with YouTube. You might want to just write it in your diary when we stop recording, just to remember it. We've got on the phone, the being able to say no, and you can actually practice that before a call. If you knew you were with a really chatty client, you could just do a little practice of it. Okay, another practice you can do is this no pose. You can find this one on YouTube. If you just look up no pose on YouTube. Yeah, that's another fist here. Okay, yeah. Okay, fingers together and relax, respectful. It's another little practice you can do if you want a bit of homework. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Focus.
Any major learnings there?
Oh, so many.
Main one. Yeah.
Well, the gradation of the training of the stimulus. I didn't know I was in control of my body's responses. That's a massive,
big one.
Big, good, blessing learning for me. The feet apart really made a difference.
Yeah.
Small,
if you do that, it feels unstable, right? Yeah. Can I give you a little nudge? Yeah. So it's so really unstable there. Yeah. Okay, now put feet a bit wider. Much more solid, right? And obviously women are taught to stand with their feet together like this. It just makes them unstable, right? So, yeah.
I learned that I was
turning away.
Yeah, slightly turning away. Even when you said on the phone, if I'm fully facing, or even on a Zoom call.
With the feeling of it as much as anything, right? Because I can be kind of here, but actually not really being here. Yeah, poof.
Yes, I'm really engaging, like a lion, really looking.
I like it. And what was the big distinction? What was the big distinction in your no? So we made a distinction between...
So I love the way you redirected me to Fen, by the way. That was really good, because that's something I've just said.
We were working.
My distinction was the hand coming in.
The hand coming in.
And then when you pushed back and got me to sense the don't be too passive.
And if I'm not there, you can use the wall.
Okay.
Just to get that feeling, if you find yourself like, because we have those days where we're like, oh, I'm a bit wimpy, or days where we're like, fuck everything. Yeah. So just find that wall, because you can't really push a wall over. Days. Yeah, it might be with your cycle, it might be just different times of day, whatever. So you find that solidity, yeah? Okay, and then you pick up the phone, and the distinction we made was also between the disrespectful no and the respectful no. Yeah. Like, I see you, I hear you, you were saying. So you can be saying that in your head as well, yeah?
Or even, okay, I really hear you, and ask the questions, and maybe you can bring that in.
Great. So you're going to find the words that go with it. Maria, that was awesome bit of coaching.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Good work. Good work. Take a rest, and we'll come back to you in a bit.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That was amazing!
We'll keep that on the audio. I'm doing a bit more here. I'm doing a bit more here. So that's okay, Maria. It's nice to have it. We'll keep that on. Authentic response there, I think. So, okay. So Maria's making me laugh now. Shut up, Maria. Okay. So, what to say? Yeah, nice bit of coaching, I think. Good start to the day. A bit of relationship with me and Maria already. So there's trust there, which really helps. Classic centering stuff, using YouTube as a stimulus, because it's not the stimulus I could do very easily. Basic principles of consent and calibration again. Reframing her control over her own body, which is a big deal for people, yeah? Then we worked with no, getting the felt sense of it in the body. It's a bit of what could be called distinction coaching. So distinction between different types of no. So someone can get a really felt sense, because people reject two things because they think it's two things. They don't realize that they think it's one thing. They don't realize it's two things. So someone rejects no because they've confused disrespectful no with respectful no, right? So you separate those two things out, and then they can go, oh, I don't want to do that because it's not in my values. I can do this. And she also said it was authentic for her, which was really nice. I was tracking her embodiment, like where she was turning. We then made the stimulus more realistic. By taking it from the abstract walking to the more concrete, like phone call where you couldn't see each other. I gave her a couple of little practices to take away. So I really want to empower the client that they can do their own learning. So the centering with the YouTube, she can do herself. I gave her the no pose to take away, which is an embodied yoga principles pose, and pushing on the wall just to give her a little bit of practice at that. And again, if she was, a more long-term client, we'd check in, say, how's the practice going, what needs adjusting, what worked, what didn't, really establish it as a commitment, normal coaching stuff. So really nice example of use of embodied tools. A few of their classics I used there, distinction coaching, EYP, and centering, all in one session. So good start.
right. All right. Just checking. Some people wrote. All right. How was it for you? What did you learn? Did you learn anything? Was something sticking out or surprising? Please type into the chat, or if you want, like, I'm happy to hear your voice. We do have a little bit of time. I have another 10-minute one. But if you want to share, remember this is being recorded, but if you want to share, I'm happy to hear a voice. Iliana.
Well, I think she went from victim to finding her sense of control, which I think is probably a issue a lot of people have, where you feel like things are happening to you and you don't have the awareness that you have control of what the stimulus is coming in and causing for you. So I think that was really important for her for both situations, where she felt like the clients were wasting all of her time and the traffic was overpowering her daily life.
Yeah, it is all about empowering. That is also what Mark said, like bringing it to that she can practice it on herself. Like he's teaching her the process, but it needs practice. This kind of stuff is not like done in one session. If you want to create a habit out of this. Thank you, Iliana. And Mark has his hand up. Please also, I see a few comments in the chat. Keep the feedback constructive. So keep it kind, keep it constructive, so everyone can learn here. Mark.
Yeah, what I really like in this is how Mark also gives a frame of reference, talking about what he's doing. And I'm the kind of client that also needs that. So that's for me very valuable, apart from many other elements. So the frame of reference, like in talking about, this is self-regulation, this is your body responding, the stimulus is stimulus, you do the thing with the body, etc., etc. So that's really helping, I think. Sorry for background noise.
No, totally fine. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciated to hear your voice. Since you're also in FEC, so happy to hear your voice once. Yeah, so what for me sticks out if I'm looking at this is two things, and that's also what he mentioned in the end. That's consent and calibration. And I saw one comment that Mark was not waiting for consent for the hug. That's true, but they both have like previous history. So always looking at this in a context. But where did you see consent and where did you see calibration happening? Please write in the chat. No, Jean, that's not what I said. Constructive is meaning constructive and not complementary. Yeah, where did you see consent or where did you see calibration? Calibration is something we don't see so much in the online coaching, so I want to put this a little bit out. Calibrating, like building up the stimulus with the car. Yes, exactly. Like moving closer to her. And you could see her reaction, like the capability of being able to deal with that, to cope with that. Yeah, the duration of the exposure to traffic. Yes. Also in the no, he calibrated. Did you notice that? Like walking slowly. Like this kind of changing distance, that's kind of calibration. So it's not just like for her noticing where her nose starts, but it's also an increasing of the impulse that something comes up to her. All right. Any questions you have Obviously, I can't tell you a lot of, pressure of the no, like this poking. Also this poking to the side, what he did around stability and stance. Like Mark is always super quick, so there's so much in that. I watched this session, I think 3 times, and I still see new stuff. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah, right, Salome. Even changing to the phone call could be a calibration, right? It was a little bit more of a simulator, this one. So there's like calibration and using a simulator in the coaching is a little bit merged there. But it was important for this client in this moment that she gets like a sense of saying no without seeing the other person. That was another like level up. Yeah, Lisa, feel free to make a comment. You want me to unmute you, or would you like to type in the chat?
I've done it. I'm unmuted. Thank you so much for these 2 days. I didn't come yesterday, but I obviously came today. My question is, or comment is, that I have seen, and not only seen, but experienced proper, transformative, wonderful coaching, and not just in my session, but in all sessions. I've felt myself shift with every session I've seen. They've been absolutely marvelous. And so in comes me, a bit of me now. So I've bought the coaching package. I love EYP. I can see its relevance for the rest of my life, and both professional and personal. But I see these marvelous teachers, like really, really incredible teachers, and I think, oh my goodness, how on earth can I do that? They are so experienced. I feel a bit overwhelmed. How long will it take to get to their level of, I'm taking notes of this calibration thing I thought was marvelous in Mark's session there. But I feel a bit, oh my goodness, it's going to be a long journey for me here. And yeah, so I'm sort of throwing a few issues of lack of confidence out to you now. So.
Thank you for this question. I think it's a fantastic one, and it's an important one. So first, let me tell you, practice is what makes us good. And none of the coaches you saw, Christina, Masha, Karen was not in this one, Alexandra, Mark, so they all like still learn. And especially Christina, I know for like 10 years now. And in this time, she just developed like this, and now she is like an extraordinary coach. So I think what makes us good coaches, or what makes the system working, is actually your own personal practice. So I can't say how much time it takes, but I can tell you that actually it is simple. The system is very simple. The way how you can like approach it, how you can work creatively with, this is indefinite. So there's like indefinite combinations, indefinite ways how to bring this in. And embodied yoga principles is one tool we are using. And sometimes, like in this coaching session, you saw distinction coaching, which is another tool which we are using, which you can combine very well. 4 elements, for those of you who in fact know this already, like the different ways of qualities of movement in air, in fire, in water, in earth. So you can combine all of that. And that, yeah, that creates then the coaching session. And again, I think the main thing is really that you are able to embody it yourself. So that's why we keep on emphasizing the practice. Also, in fact, in all these like different courses, like you can read all kind of books, but if you don't practice this stuff, then You will not be able to coach a person through it, because what you also see a lot in these coaching sessions is that we mirror it. So you see sometimes that we're doing the same pose just to encourage the client, or we're doing an opposite pose to create the polarity. So also this you can see. And if you're not able to move to the different qualities, then this part will be very difficult. All right. So I would actually really like to go back to another coaching demonstration, except you have some urgent questions. But I think it's more valuable to see another coaching demonstration and debrief that, and then we will have time for breakouts if you like. This is a short one, just 9 minutes, and but it's also a very interesting one for several reasons, which you might see when I'm starting to share my screen. Just need to find it. And here we go. No, I can't. Just a moment. I need to also share the sound. Then you can also hear what's happening. Enjoy.
Maria, welcome. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Maria's someone I met a few times before. You told me you had an issue with traffic noise. You messaged me before, so tell me a little bit about that.
So
Okay, Karen, welcome. We've literally just met. You told me a couple of things you might want to work with. Yeah. What's on top? What's the first one you want to look at?
Right. First of all, I would like to look at my ability to kind of keep my cool in situations where I'm aware that someone, I'll use a colloquial, winding me up.
Yeah.
So they're aware that they're being quite slightly disingenuous in the way they're addressing me, and they're almost provoking me into an escalation, emotional escalation and a kind of conflict escalation.
So how not to lose your cool, basically, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's just start with a simple centering, then we can add a few things to it, okay? Yeah. So face this way if you would, feet on the ground, knees slightly bent, relax the belly. Yeah, say ah. Ah. Okay, so breathing deeply into the lower abdomen. Yeah, okay. And when you get a bit wound up, you're probably not in this state, you look pretty chill now. Feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, which direction do you tend to go in? If you get annoyed, which direction? Forwards, back, up, down?
Do you mean emotionally or physically?
No,
physically, what do I do with my, what am I doing with my body?
Yeah, what do you do? So think back, you're talking about some neighbour that you have an argument with, which direction do you go?
I suppose it's up.
A bit up, okay.
Yeah, maybe to kind of inflate or to kind of feel a bit defensive.
Okay, so let's come back to that centering again, feeling the feet, having the knees slightly bent. Yeah? Okay, so rather than going up. Okay, and is it more forwards or back?
It's probably back.
Like this?
It's passive. It's almost a kind of passive.
Oh, okay, like a kind of...
Yeah, because I wouldn't be comfortable with a full-on
you're not
physical conflict.
Okay, great.
I'm not talking about...
You've heard of fight or flight, right? So some people are a little bit flight, it's a little bit backing up. Other people get a bit more like, come on, you want a piece of me? They come forwards, right? Yeah. So we're just identifying your particular pattern here, yeah?
Like flight.
Okay, great. So it's like a turn away. Show me it. If you're this neighbour of yours that didn't show up for the thing it was meant to do. Okay, so it's up and away slightly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of like this.
Okay, now this time coming forwards and down. So we're fine tuning this technique to help you relax, because if you're normally doing this, up and away, now you're coming forwards and down. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the quality you most want when you're in these conflict type situations? What's the quality?
To come forward towards someone in a kind of a resolution of what can we do about this? What's my part in it? What's your part in it?
Okay, so some sort of sense of coming forward.
Or trying to understand exactly what I'm doing in order to provoke. I think we were talking about the provocation situation originally. I think we've jumped onto the other one, but so what we're talking about is not escalating up when someone else is trying to wind you up.
Yeah. Okay.
So I suppose what I'm trying to achieve, what I think I'm trying to achieve, is to kind of emit a kind of calm that keeps the other person where I'd like to be, the level that I'd like to be communicating at.
Okay, so what happens naturally in a conflict is one person gets stressed, it makes the other stress, and it gets...
So I'd like to stick here and hopefully bring them
Okay,
down.
so why don't we practice that? So you're going to practice the centering, which you've done already.
Yeah.
Okay, and my job is, I'm just going to jump around and go a bit crazy, all right?
Yeah.
If it gets too much, just let me know, okay? So, which way are you going?
I was going back.
Yeah, okay. So remember now, feel the front of your foot. Yeah. Okay, breathe. Yeah. How's that?
It's good.
It's good, man.
Just sink. Just sink and just be there. And let the other person do their thing. And by not reacting, you're not escalating.
You're not escalating.
It felt very...
It's actually quite hard for me to keep it going because you're not giving me anything. It's giving away. It's just naturally I calm down. Let's add a AYP pose to this. This is the system we're filming today. So we'll do yes pose. So you're just holding the hands to the side. Yeah, and opening the hands. Relax the face. Yeah, say ah. There we go. Great, so I'm not suggesting you should literally stand this way, but this is more like giving off that vibe, okay? Giving off that energy if you're gonna be bright about it, yeah? So being in that more open pose is less confrontational. If someone's like this or something, it's a very different feeling, isn't it, yeah? How does that feel to you? Is it familiar?
Yeah, it's not familiar with me with that stance. Isn't familiar for me.
The feeling of it.
The feeling of it is... it's how I'd like to be.
Okay, great. So sometimes you can literally do this or just do it a little bit, like with the hands. Yeah. Like you see people when they're like trying not to have a fight, they'll do that naturally. They'll go, hey, it's like, mate, calm down, it's okay.
Yeah. It's like I've got nothing. I haven't got any weapons. I think it's like I've got no weapons.
Gesture. I've got no weapons. But also it's changing how you feel.
And you're opening your body. You're making yourself vulnerable as well, aren't you? Yeah. You're inviting someone else to do
it's the opposite of that, right?
Yeah.
So you're like saying, hey, I come in peace. Yeah. So it's not about the body language though, but also just how it feels to the other person.
So it's like,
it really is. Let's do that a little bit more. So a bit more. Really softening here. It's like welcoming. Yeah. Imagine I was like your best friend. And I was going to give you a hug. You'd be like, you know. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So where could you use that? What situations might be useful to have you're not going to necessarily do the whole pose, but just to get
the feeling of
that.
Yeah. The feeling of that. I guess where possibly you have something
for you, you're talking about yourself.
Yes, where I have something that I'd like to open up with someone else. They're unwilling to go there for their own reasons because they don't really. They're holding a position about this that they've decided beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm not shifting on this, and actually, I don't like the fact that you're trying to engage me. And this is the thing, isn't it? about the wind. If someone wants to wind you up, they're going to resist.
And also, people don't necessarily know they're doing it deliberately. Okay, so
true.
we've got to be a bit careful with this British phrase, with like when we say winding people up, because it's like it's deliberate. But the thing is, once people lose their calm, they can't help it.
No,
you know, and it's the person that can regulate themselves the best. It's their job to be the bigger man, to be the bigger adult. You know. Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things you can take away there. We've got the centering.
Yeah.
That's the forwards and down.
Yeah.
Okay, talk me through that.
So this is about rather than inflating and kind of rising up, really just sinking into the floor and softening the knees and just being in the face of
whatever it is. Yeah, people losing their calm. Yeah. Okay, and then the second part is adding this opening part.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's small, sometimes it's even just a visualization, imagining.
Yeah.
Okay, or it can be a bit more big if you want to practice it like before you go into a situation.
Yeah. So that was about relaxing the jaw and just having a feeling of this.
Yeah,
of welcoming.
Of welcoming.
Of
like, opening.
Yeah, what can we do about this?
Yeah, great. So do you think that might be useful?
Yes, it's good.
Okay, couple of tools you can use there. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so at the beginning there, the client was talking about essentially a situation where they needed some state regulation, you know, so introducing this idea of embodied influence, how we can wind each other up in their language, and actually reducing their level of fight or flight arousal through some basic centering. We tweaked it to the exact direction because I thought it was going to be fight, but it turned out it was a bit more flight back. So it was really nice that he identified that, built his self-awareness of that, and then we tweaked it to a technique just for him. And then I realized that an EYP pose would be really, really helpful because I wanted to make sure there's at least one EYP pose, was this yes pose, opening that up and getting the idea that the key thing is the quality of that and the impact it has on our relationships. So yeah, pretty standard, pretty classic, nice conflict resolution type stuff.
All right. So a bit of a different session, much shorter. What did you notice? What was there something surprising? Something, no, I know this already. Please type in the chat or raise your hand. I'm happy to hear your voice. Yeah, it is counterintuitive. It's a different approach. Like that's exactly what he says. Like fight and flight, it's zero. Fight or flight is going away and more like that. Like opening this completely changes the whole. Also, something what Mark said is like it was hard for him to keep on doing this because it's just there is no fuel giving. The moment he's like going into the quality of yes, there's just no fuel for the conflict anymore. And that's very, very simplified. So we can go much, much deeper into that. Yeah. Yeah, and it is scary. That's why he did the centering before. So first centering, and then you can. Embodiment coaching is really about awareness and choice. So when you notice that it's scary, you do have a choice to undo that, like through centering, through different regulation techniques. And with practice, you get better. The same what I said earlier to Lisa, it's all about practice. Using the yes pose was surprising. Why, Lisa? Just let me unmute you.
Because I thought he was going to be all nurturing, and I get you. It was the opposite of what I thought he was going to do. But actually, thinking about it, my partner's a social worker. He retired today, actually, so he was a social worker, and in conflict, and I've read The Art of War, well, not all of it, but I've trying to look at conflict, and he said to me, if someone's really really winds you up. I'm going to use that term. If you are in a conflictual relationship with someone, so him with a client, he says he's extra nice to that client. And it was one of the best pieces of advice I have ever had. And I've embodied it. And that's just what Mark's just done. So it shouldn't have been as surprising, but yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah. Also saw a question earlier, still from the session before, how can you adapt like simulation and calibration online? Well, kind of the same way like you do it offline. Like I can, for example, ask a client to watch a YouTube video and talk him through the centering. Or I can like go closer to the screen or go further back. I can use different words. Like sometimes I'm using centering, for example, when when a word starts to trigger. Like, I don't know, for some people it's like social media. It's like, ugh. So you can like use different words, like take a little bit the edge out. So being a little bit creative, but it works. And there's more of this, like more examples, but also more explicit teachings in the courses. So especially the embodied yoga principle for coaches. So do let me say, like the way how I would like close the session is I'm saying a few words around embodied yoga principles, and then I would invite you to some breakouts to reflect on what you learned, and then we'll wrap up for those of you who are still available, because this is really the last session and I want to wrap up this well. So do let me share a little bit about the embodied yoga principles product. Yeah, it is based on Paul Linden, Dora. It's one of Mark's mentors. Let me share a little bit about the product. And I know I keep on sharing it, but it's a nice product. And it's just important to also like pitch it a little bit here, because this is what it's all about. We want to bring this work out. So if you want to use these tools and also further principles, because embodiment coaching is based on very simple principles. You already know awareness and choice, which we keep on saying, you know, consent and calibration, which we keep saying. So if you know these principles, you can adapt this to different contexts. So what we're teaching is principles. It's not about the postures, it's about the principles, the qualities people embody. And do let me share my screen and do introduce the product for those of you who didn't see it yet. Like, shame on you, maybe, but most of you hopefully saw it already. So it's still up until Monday, and then you will see that the price is double. And I know that's for many people a lot of money, but there's also a lot of work and a lot of thinking and a lot of time which went in. Not just the time to produce the product, but the time to develop this system, which is like, I think a decade old now. So these embodied yoga principles are a few years on the market, and they're constantly getting better, like from teachers like Jamie, which you saw, or Patricia, or Antonia, or Christina, who are bringing new poses in, new variations. So 3 versions. I keep on stretching. Personal practice is essential. If you're just looking for this product is basically the best for you. You get all the postures, you get explanatory tutorials, you get also inquiries, which you can do by your own. If you're a coach, or if you want to use this for coaching, the embodiment yoga principles for coaches is obviously the best, because it adds a little bit to like coaching demonstrations, like the 2 you saw in this session. I think there are like 20 or 25 in there. For at least there is a coaching demonstration for each pose. Also client case studies. You can also see like these debriefs, like what we actually did. And if you're a yoga teacher and you want to bring yoga off the mat, then the Embodied Yoga Principles teacher training is for you, because it focuses a little bit more on how to do this, how to implement this into different yoga classes, yoga styles, and so on. Again, still up until Monday. I will share the link in the chat. So take the time, read the website, ask questions in the Facebook group, which is Embodiment Unlimited, because we will answer them there. All right, so last but not least, I would like to put you into, let's say, 10 minutes of breakouts and invite you to a question. What did you learn in this coaching weekend? Like the 2 days we did the coaching demonstrations and everything else. What did you learn? What do you take away? And then bring you back and finish this session off. So if you can't stay, I know a few people need to leave. I would just unmute everyone for saying goodbye, then please leave the session. And for those of you who want to stay on for the breakouts, just stay on and I will assign you to a breakout. All right, please say goodbye.
Bye bye. Tot de volgende keer.
Bye.
Tot ziens. Dag.
Bye.
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 Aloha. Bye, Virginia. Bye.
Bye. All right, muting all again. And if you want to be in a breakout room with some like-minded people, debriefing a little bit, sharing your own learnings, because reflection is part of the learning process, please stay. If you don't want, please leave the session now, because otherwise I will assign you. All right, so. And I'm giving you until 10 past the hour. So hope you enjoy. And no, breakouts will be not recorded. And I will also stop the recording in a moment. All right, enjoy.